What's up, everybody? It is my favourite show of the week. It is Cop the Week, and I am joined by Mr. Chris Stonadge, Mr. Paddy Murphy, and of course, all of you amazing folks in the chat as well. I mean, come to you first, Paddy. You still look like a man who's hung over to bits. That's what I'd say. How are you feeling, dude? I hope you're all right.
We're okay. We've been struck down by the dreaded virus, but listen, I'm a fighting, fit, beautiful young man, ready to nothing to stop doing the Cop the Week. You know what I mean? So we'll get into the juiciness.
We love that. Paddy Murphy won, COVID nil. We'll take that all the way. Mr. Stonadge, apart from having a Taco Bell on the way a bit later on, how's your day been, sir?
It's been good, mate. It's been good. I've been just grinding hard really all day. Got loads of stuff done. And then I'll be grinding hard later, hopefully, depending on the missus.
Don't mention grinding in front of Paddy. Brings back memories.
oh, it does indeed. It does indeed.
That's an inside joke there, Paddy, for once. We've a bit of an inside joke there. People at home won't have a clue. They're like, is he talking about Paddy not being on Twitch? Oh, no, my friends. We'll leave it at that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we have been brought to you by, thanks to the all-conquering Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping and cleaner, better shaven nether regions. Using our code WFM20 at Manscaped, you can get the Performance Package 4.0, whatever you want. You can get the new deodorant. They have loads of new stuff on there. Check it out. Treat yourself on Valentine's Day. It is Valentine's Day right now. Maybe you're like me and you don't buy into Valentine's Day, but you do buy into having clean nuts. WFM20. Right, gents. I thought, Paddy, we'd start off by addressing and shouting down this video about Mohamed Salah. That's after, well, look, it isn't Mohamed Salah. It's important we point that out. Last time, I don't remember seeing him with pink fingernails driving a Ferrari, first and foremost. But, I mean, whoever put this out there, Paddy, needs to be tracked down. They need to be fucking arrested.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I seen, I knew well it wasn't him. It's sad. It's dangerous. It's depressing. There's people in the world just trying to bring these people down. Of all people, like Mohamed Salah, a man who has never done anything negative at all, ever in the football world or in his private life. A religious man who just loves his wife and kids. You know, it's just sad to see. And I've seen people saying, "Oh, why do people even care? He only got a such and such out." That's so like it's revenge porn is suddenly funny when it's a man involved. Like, people are making light of the situation like I've never seen before. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. It's not him, but it's defamation of character. You know what I mean? People are so eager to bring down one of the sport's biggest stars, and it's just depressing. It's the culture we live in. Certain people just have a hard on, ironically, for doing this to people.
I echo everything Paddy said there, Chris. And what gets to me, mate, is trying to bring down a good man. I've seen too many good men and women brought down over the years with stuff that was fake. And sometimes, mate, this stuff can stick, even if it's proven in this case to be absolute nonsense. There are always going to be people out there who either miss the memo on this or believe it, which is strange. It's important we do point out this 100% is not Mohamed Salah.
Oh, exactly. 100%. I just want to get into sort of I really don't understand the mindset of trying to bring someone like Salah down. What is there to dislike about Mohamed Salah? I just don't understand it. What is it? Because he's successful? Is it because he's rich? Is it because he's clearly in unbelievable shape? You know, it's just
you can say all those things about me as well.
Absolutely, Craig, and I'm sure there'll be some release Craig news soon. But no, I'm. It's ridiculous, as Paddy said. People naturally just make light of it because of how ridiculous it is. I think everyone appreciates, like, revenge porn is just shocking, but the fact that it was really badly manufactured, the fact that they deliberately tried to take him down, please make sure it doesn't stick. And I'm sure everyone will make sure it doesn't stick, because Mo Salah is known as a cultural icon. He's more than just a footballer that's going to be brought down for sending a few naughty pictures. This man's an icon to so many people. And it would be ridiculous if his legacy was tarnished by some absolute muppet who decides that it's funny to like just get pictures of his balls out. So yeah, ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not a religious person, but as Paddy said, it's the aspect that he is a man of faith. He is a family man. He is a public figure. And if ever there was a footballer that I would stake my life on not doing anything like that, it would be Mohamed Salah or Sadio Mane or N'Golo Kante. Just real good guys of the game. And it pains my soul to see people trying to do this. But, Paddy, there is somebody who we should be calling out, and that is not just Mark Overmars, but Ajax. And the news of the revelations that Edwin van der Sar confirmed that the Ajax board knew about Mark Overmars' sexting scandal and still handed him a €1.5 million or £1.25 million bonus. I mean, I'm just sick of football clubs treating the rest of us like shit on their shoe, Paddy. You know, that like, oh, heaven forbid I curse on a video or anything like that. They're hypocrites, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of football clubs only having morals when their bottom line is hit.
Yeah, it's very disturbing to hear that they gave him that bonus while knowing it was going on. I believe they said something to, we were aware of the situation. However, these things need to be investigated and whatnot. And yeah, of course, that's completely fair enough. Just because someone says someone done something doesn't mean it's necessarily true or whatever. But they definitely shouldn't have been giving them an upgrade or an upgraded bonus. They should have just left it in limbo, if you will. But yeah, no, it's disgraceful, to be honest. And as you said, these teams and these institutions only care about the scandal when it affects them negatively. Up until if they can hide it, they'll hide it.
And Chris, I mean, you were fairly outspoken on this subject the other day, and rightly so, when we touched on what's going on at the minute in the world, not just in football world, but in the world in general. What is your gut feeling when you find out that Ajax knew about these allegations?
It's really dejecting, isn't it? It really, really is. It sort of takes the words out of your mouth, really. Like how can this person be? And it is a reward for being sexist and sending photos and really, I just can't believe this man. Honestly, I struggle with the logic of it, Craig. I struggle with the logic of this Salah thing. I struggle with the logic of this. I struggle with the logic. I just, as a rational human being, why is this seen as normal in these areas? Because it's happening too often now. It really, really is. And the fact that they're getting $1.5 million bonus, Mark Overmars getting $1.5 million bonus. Do we even need to say any more, Greg? I fucking hate it.
No, you're right. We should probably park it up there and move on to stuff we actually give a shit about and stuff that's positive. And actually around our football club right now. And I don't know about you, Paddy, but I'm already getting excited about Wednesday and the trip to the Giuseppe Meazza to take on Inter Milan. What a night, mate. What a night. Champions League football back. First time since December. I can't wait.
Something hits very different about Champions League. I know it's not till Wednesday, but I'm buzzing already. I'm so excited. It's the best competition in the game, which is one of the reasons why we were all panicking when the Super League nonsense was first touted, because we'd be losing such marvelous nights like this. It's the first one with fans since the Atletico game, the famous Adrian disaster class. So it's been a long time coming. I mean, knockout stage, like obviously. I can't bloody wait. I'm so excited. It's an historic tie as well, because it's Inter Milan, and as Liverpool tweeted today, 13 years ago today we played them, and Torres scored that goal. Remember that night? Great memories, and I just can't wait. And we should be having a positive result also.
I mean, Chris, just when I thought we were finished with the San Siro / Giuseppe Meazza this season, after Nat Phillips absolutely just killed off Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the 18-yard box, we go back again, mate. We go back again for another big European night.
Yeah, and I've gone through the cycle. You know the usual cycle I go through of absolutely dreading it, like I was for the Merseyside derby. If you remember, I was so scared for that, and then now I just think we're going to batter them Porto like. The way that we've been going, even the 1-0 win against Burnley, I just think it'll give everyone so much confidence going to a tough place, but they will be without two of their best players in Bastoni and Barella. And honestly, I really fancy us to go and win 3 or 4-0 there and kill the tie off. I don't know what it is. They were dejected. They were abject against Napoli on the weekend. So honestly, I back us 100%.
I mean, I'm going to come to Paddy on this because he's been the Inter Milan hype merchant over the past few weeks. But beforehand, Paddy, you want to free this person from the lack of knowledge they have there about your age?
Well, I'm turning 25 on the 6th of March, so I'm currently 24.
There we go.
Sometimes people are surprised, think I'm a bit older.
What I'd give to be back in those days, buddy, back in the 24, 25s. But on Inter, Paddy, I mean, you still as nervous as you were about the game?
No, listen. I just think there's a danger of of overlooking Inter Milan. I think with me, I'm looking when I hear Inter, I have a little bit of respect for them just with how historical they are, and just it's not going to be as easy as some people make out. I do not see a 3 or 4-0. No, not in their patch. While they haven't been wholly impressive in the last few games, they're still top of the league. Correct me if I'm wrong, unless they just got pipped off. Second now, but they're staunch defensively. They have Milan Skriniar, Handanovic, he's a bit a pony these days, but obviously missing Bastoni is a great help, and missing Barella is a great help for us. But I don't think it'd be a 3-0. To be honest, I'll take a 1-0 right now, because I think no matter what, we banked them in Anfield, because that's going to be like, I think we can agree the atmospheres at Anfield haven't been off the charts this year, given the Cardiff game, blah blah blah. But a second leg Champions League tie.
It's not just me.
Is it me? Is it me who's lagged out, or is it?
Whoa!
Is it just Paddy?
No, I think Paddy's. Yeah. Oh, he's back there now.
What the hell is that?
Chamberlain.
Oh yeah.
Sake, sorry about that.
You a bit disappointed there, Chris. You didn't get a card off Ox today, or am I wrong? And did he send a little something?
I'm still waiting. By the post box readily. Sadly, he's not sent me anything. Not even a signed shirt or anything.
Oh, I mean, God, I feel for you, dude. I do. Chris,
I've moved on to Harvey now anyway. He's old news.
I wanted to get your take, Chris, on something actually, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it yesterday after the Burnley game. The Mohamed Salah potential penalty incident in the Burnley game.
Potential penalty, Craig. It was a Stonewall penalty for me.
Good man, Chris. Good man.
It's the contact. Yes, he went down. Oh, Paddy's gone. Paddy's in the mud, and we can no longer see me. But yeah, it was a Stonewaller, wasn't it? I don't really understand why or how it wasn't given, and it wasn't even really looked at that much. I think it might have been because of Mo's. I don't know whether it was an unnatural flop, but the contact was still there.
He's one of the worst at the flop. He is awful at the flop.
I don't think it was a penalty. I think he didn't go down instantly. I think his delayed reaction is what killed it. I think if he goes down and immediately it gets given, but because of the delayed reaction, no.
It's all about the contact, though, right? It shouldn't be about the fall. It's a definite penalty.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, maybe Salah has a bit of a rep, doesn't he? Well, whether it's warranted or not, but maybe people are a bit warier when he goes down. Yeah,
I have to say, in real time, I thought it was a penalty as well. But ultimately, did anybody else see Match of the Day last night? Glenn Murray and the lads talking about the chances Burnley created, but forgot to mention a few of them were offside. That did my fucking head in. Like, bigging up Burnley, who played well, don't get me wrong, fair play. But if you're going to talk about chances created and stuff, at least show us the ones that are onside rather than trying to big them up.
The thing about the late flag, isn't it? It creates chances that never happen and saves that Alisson wouldn't have to make. He even came up in the highlights. Like, it's clutching at straws a little bit, because if the flag just went up straight away, then they wouldn't even be phases of play. So I just don't get it. But look, I guess that's how average pundits do their work. Not
like us superheroes here on Anfield Agenda. Just being absolute superstars, Paddy, without the technology and the rights to show it as well, I have to say. But on that one of my things, Paddy, about the late flags is the amount of corners that teams end up winning when the flag doesn't go up and they end up standing. That does my head in.
Yeah, the late flag is a load of nonsense. It needs to go up straight away, because there's phases of play being played that shouldn't be played, and then you, as you said, you get corners out the back of it, chances that shouldn't be chances, and it distorts the picture of the game. And it also, you could have injuries in that time frame as well. So yeah, no, this late flag nonsense is is a joke.
There's a big difference though. As a referee, I can see 100% your point, but there is when it's given up, when a flag's given, it can sometimes disturb another player who's potentially coming from an onside position to interfere with the play rather than the player who's offside. With VAR as well, you have to be really careful with it. You have to be careful with putting your flag up in case you just literally deny a goal. So I see what you're saying, but it is important that they stay consistent with it.
Speaking about VAR, speaking about offside, did anybody see the stat that was doing the round today about Liverpool catching opponents offside? So for those that haven't, we topped the charts, unsurprisingly, with 101 opponents caught offside using the highline system. Next highest on that list, Chris, is 61 for Manchester City. So it's obviously working out all right, this highline.
If people say we didn't miss Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip for the periods they were out last season, then here is your example. Those chances that Burnley get yesterday are actual like concrete chances if they're not there and playing this high line, which is such a system that denies chances. It's a defensive mechanism, but also an offensive mechanism. It's so important, and that is not just an outlying stat. That is in a different galaxy to anyone else. We are truly like well drilled in this system. So. Yeah, people complain about it because on the face of it, it creates a chance, but those chances are usually flagged up for offside, as we saw yesterday.
What about yourself, Paddy? What was your gut reaction when you seen the stat?
Yeah, unsurprising, to be fair. You know, the club have seemed to have mastered the art of the high line. I'd be lying if I said sometimes it causes soilage in my trousers when, you know, someone steals in, like against Palace with Edouard, and it was Elise. But it seems to work on the whole. It does work on the whole, and yeah, no, it's as Chris said, it's a testament to the boys, isn't it? Matip and Van Dijk, who are a master of the art together.
Chris, you jinxed Weghorst, mate. You gave him the big one all week, and he couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, fella.
He was still good, though, wasn't he? He was still good in his all-round build-up play. He was fantastic. I love him. I think he's class. If he was 5 years younger, I'd have him at Liverpool. But he's not. So, unfortunately. But yeah, look, he did miss an absolute sitter, didn't he? Bless him.
Paddy, it's not just me here. He is backing the wrong horse constantly here, isn't he, with his player love?
Now, to be fair, I do see the love for Weghorst. He was class in the Bundesliga. He had a few good moments against us. You know, and when you're putting a team like Burnley, you're gonna have limited chances. But he done well. Should have scored, to be fair. But you know, I think he'll do well for them. I still think they're gonna go down, but he'll get a couple of goals. Definitely an upgrade on Chris Wood as well, massively.
I think 1 and 2 in Germany and Holland, if I'm right in saying that, in his goal return. But, you know, it's easy for me, Chris, to sit here and speak about the chances Weghorst missed, but I prefer to flip it on its head, mate, and talk about the beautiful Brazilian goalkeeping superhero between the sticks for us, because, wow, this dude on one-on-ones is ridiculously good.
It's because he doesn't go down so early. It's a real skill, because people are told when they're going. I'm using my terrible experience of being a junior goalkeeper. They tell you to go down, make your decision, go out early, go rushing out. Where in fact, you know, you just have to sort of make it an in-between balance decision, and he really does that well. He doesn't go down to ground so easily, and when he does go to ground, you notice he sort of does this sort of crawl movement when he's on the floor, to try when he tries to guide them wide. He's just unbelievable in these situations, and he's gone up a level this season. This year we could have seriously lost games if it wasn't for him, and he's just quality, and he's just a lovely bloke as well. You add that to another list of brilliant footballers, of just brilliant people as well.
Paddy, I want to link this into Caoimhín Kelleher, because often at times you and I as Irish people get asked a lot about Caoimhín Kelleher and his future for Ireland and for Liverpool. And I just think with the level of coaching and experience he's gaining from training day in and day out with Taffarel, with obviously Allison, I just don't see why people are worked up about it. I think he's in the right place.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, he's in college for football, you know, and he's in the best possible scenario he can be. As a world-class number one he's learning from, an ex-world-class goalkeeper who's now one of his coaches, and then obviously John Achterberg, who, you know, is a good lad as well. You know, I do see the calls for, it'd be great if he could actually play games, but if he plays all the cup games every year, I think he's all right. And, you know, Allison is, you know, maybe by the time Allison leaves, he can become number one. But as Klopp said before, they don't just look at Caoimhín as a good young goalkeeper. They look at him as a good goalkeeper, a fantastic goalkeeper. And he's in one of the best places you can be. If he goes to like a League One Championship side, yeah, he'll learn stuff as well. But I don't think he'll learn more than he will from the day in, day out at Liverpool.
For those coming in late, I see a couple of comments about Paddy in the chat saying he looks knackered and all. He's a goddamn superhero. He's on here with COVID, still showing up. I mean, you're a better man than me, Mr. Murphy. I'd be calling in sick, dude. I won't lie.
Listen, no, it's fine. Well, I mean, if I had to go into a studio, maybe, but we're grand. It's the start of it, so I'm not too bad. It's just like a bad cold, really, isn't it? I with a culmination of my body telling me, please stop eating shite and drinking. But we're detoxing now.
Don't worry, dude. My body's been saying that to me for 20 years, and I'm still ignoring it. So I'm still here. Chris, looking ahead to this Inter game, let's try and put together an 11 and a chat. Play along if you will. So in goal, Alisson, I don't see any change to the back four. Actually, let me put that out there. I don't see any change. I think Van Dijk.
Yeah, I see boys. I agree. Purely because we've got Norwich at home on the weekend, and Konate will definitely play.
I expect Costas and Konate to play in that game with the weekend, if I'm being honest. Which is why I'm backing Matip to play alongside Van Dijk. What about yourself, Paddy? Any change to that?
No, I'm happy enough with it, but I would not be against Konate playing. I just feel like he is just the next big thing for us. I watched a video there earlier on that him and Trent done for FIFA, and it was like Trent was saying he has the potential to be a generational centre back, like, and he's so I really want him to start playing more and more, and not phasing out Matip, but he is the future, isn't he? So they're both quality, so I wouldn't say no to either, but I expect it will be Matip, to be fair. G'day, mate.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Chris, we're going into a big European night. And it's the reason I don't think Luis Diaz starts this game as well. I think Klopp's going to want to go to his trusted lieutenants for this one. And if it was at home, perhaps, we might see Diaz, we may see Konate, but away at the Giuseppe Meazza, I expect. And by the way, I'm going to try and squeeze in as many Giuseppe Meazzas as I possibly can, because I just like saying it. Yeah, I think, and again, in midfield, Paddy, I'm with you. I love the idea of Thiago, Fabinho, Keita, but I'm expecting Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson away against.
No, he better not. I'm sick. Like, Henderson is not good enough anymore. I'm just gonna say it. He's not, man. He is not. Thank you very much, Liz. I will. He's not that he's not good enough, right? He's still decent. He still offers us something, but he's not in our best team anymore. It's as simple as that. Thiago, Keita, Fabinho, and Elliott are all better footballers and better options right now.
But
than
at the same time,
Henderson,
you have to take in context the game, though. You have to talk the game in context. It's a big European away day. Like, the round of 16 is a really important game. You want your leaders on the pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if you played Milner either, to be honest. I would not be surprised.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, relax.
Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I see James Milner starting the game.
I'm with Paddy on this one. I mean, not to start.
I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen.
I hate this. Yeah, but this leaders stuff. Like, we have enough. Like, there's enough leaders on the pitch with Van Dijk and Matip and Robbo and Alisson. Like, it's all about the best players. And I don't want Henderson to start, and I certainly don't want James Milner to start. But if you looked at the difference in midfield and Thiago came on for Henderson and against Burnley, I think that just says all I need to say about it.
Oh, Thiago was sexy again when he came on, man. He's just so silky, isn't he? I'll tell you why I'm okay with Henderson. I'm not okay with Milner. I'm with Paddy on that one. I'm not okay with Milner starting. But with Henderson, again, I want to go back to the big nights and the relationships around the pitch. And Trent, Salah, and Henderson on that right-hand side have some pretty good relationships, Chris. Again, on the left-hand side, you can see it with Thiago, Robbo, and Sadio Mane. And I'm sure it'll be no different with Luis Diaz if he plays or when he plays. So for me, it's not a game to take a chance. I think go with your trusted lieutenants and then tweak it if necessary.
Yeah. And who's to say we can't throw on Harvey Elliott in the last 20 minutes if we're 2-0 up and looking for a third to kill off the game. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Keitas, of the Elliots, of the Joneses, playing more and more games because, Hendo's going to be phased out. Milner's already being phased out, although there is talk of a new deal.
Oh, don't get me started on that, by the way. We will get to that in a minute.
Fabinho's going to play it. Fabinho plays every game when he's available. I think he's probably the number one, maybe bar Alisson or Verge, the number one name on the team sheet, especially at the moment. By the way, more open play goals than Ronaldo since November.
5 and 8, man. 5 and 8 for Fabinho. That is brilliant.
What a player. So, yeah, look, I don't want your Milners and your Hendersons to start, but we have to understand the context of the game. We have to understand the context of Jurgen Klopp's thoughts. And I genuinely believe one of them definitely plays.
See, I'll tell you what, Paddy, I can understand all the points on this, but ultimately, I'm so pig-headed and stubborn that I hate the idea of going there and trying to match up and, come up with a team that will cancel out the other team. I think with the talent we have, go there, go balls out and attack and win that game. Look at the options. Thiago, Keita, Elliott. It's just so many fantastic attacking, even Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'd much rather Chamberlain start than Milner.
Yeah, even I would. No, the thing is, you start Milner and then you want him off by half time. It's just an inevitable thing that happens. Milner is someone you bring on the last 10, 15 and then tough like a Burnley. You bring him on, let him see things out grand. You don't go to the San Siro or the Giuseppe Meazza and start him away from home. You start your best team, which in my opinion, the best midfield we have available at the club is Fabinho, Keita and Thiago. Phenomenal. I know they've only played together a brief time once, but they're the three best midfielders of the club. You take out maybe one of them and then you put on Harvey Elliott or even an Ox, but no Milner, no Hendo, please. But I do think Hendo will play, but if I'm just thinking of what I want, it is certainly not Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, I think I'm at peace with Hendo playing. With Elliott there coming off the bench. Moving into
I will also say no. Sorry, Craig. Sorry to interject, but
go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw on James Pearce's tweet when Henderson got injured, some fans actually celebrating it.
Pricks.
Like that's just absolutely disgraceful.
No, that's not on.
It's grim. Like at the end of the day, he's a captain. He's lifted trophies for our club. He's been an unbelievable influential figure. Just show the man some respect. You can have your opinions whether he should be in the first team or whether he should be sold, whether he should have his contract terminated or not. But don't be celebrating his injury, man. It's just absolutely disrespectful.
Someone has just said Henderson is better than Keita. No.
Sorry, my fucking TV just turned on for no reason.
Let's not take the piss here. Henderson is not better than Keita. Come on now.
Can I run this up the flagpole, lads? I wouldn't be against it. It won't happen, but I wouldn't be against it.
Do you remember when Jurgen went
Who's
to
the
44 City away?
I'm throwing Bobby in.
City away, you went
Bobby.
So Bobby behind Jota, Mane left, Salah right. And the reason I say Mane left again, Paddy, not because I don't rate Diaz at this point. I just think it's one of these games where we're going to have lads that know the system. And yet Diaz as an option off the bench, if the legs are tiring, to spring a bit of a surprise. But Mane knows what Klopp will want from him in this game.
I don't know. I feel like with other signings, I share that ideology. However, I feel like with Diaz, he's been thrown straight in already, and Klopp's been hugely impressed with what he's seen. And for me, I think he starts, or I want him to start anyway. I thought Mane wasn't shit hot against Burnley, if I'm being honest. But again, I'm not against Mane playing, of course. They're both fantastic, both world class. But I would love to see a bit of Diaz, Jota, and Mohamed Salah action.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it either. That's the great thing about the attackers we have at the minute. We could put together probably multiple combinations of 3 from this 5, Chris, and we'll all just kind of go, yeah, I'm all right with that.
Pretty much. It's a great situation to be in, isn't it? On the Diaz thing, I think he's going to be unleashed against Norwich, to be honest with you. I feel so sorry for Norwich. They've had enough of South Americans playing for Liverpool, scoring against them. But Diaz is going to be back and he's going to obliterate them. I can't see him featuring from the start against Inter. I do think Jurgen will go for his trusted players. However much Diaz has done a lot to earn his trust in the couple of games he's played, he's not obviously as established as your Salah, Mane, Firmino, and now even Jota. So yeah, it's amazing. Whoever plays, we're happy, really, and that's the best part of it.
I want to get your opinion on this, Paddy. Do you think we might see any change in attitude or change in the way we go about our jobs over here? Because this is the first game with no away goals rule that we'll have played since they changed it at the end of last season. So do you think Klopp will still try and push out there for the away goal, or do we know any other way really either, I suppose?
No, I think it's going to go hell for leather. It's a matter. It's the straight shootout now, and I feel like we beat them comfortably over 2 legs. I feel like the no away goals actually helps our chances in the Champions League for some reason, because I feel like we'll hold down the hatch in Anfield no matter who we play. We'll always win the game, I think, at Anfield, whereas away goals were a play that could kind of score things. No, I just think we'll go hell for leather and go for the jugular straight away. It's the only way the team really knows, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got some favourable fixtures coming up as well, Chris, where we can probably start to rotate a little bit more as well. Obviously, starting with that game that I think yourself and Izzy are going to, the Norwich game of the weekend.
Yeah, it's his first ever game at Anfield. Buzzing to take her up there. And she's going to experience me being...
That's getting clipped.
Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. It is Valentine's Day.
Chris Stonadge, here we come.
Mate, any website you can get me on, as long as you pay me well. But no, yeah, I'm buzzing to get her in at Anfield. You know, she's going to experience me screaming and shouting, and she's just showing me a Taco Bell order. Can I have a quesadilla, please? Thank you. Cheese one, please. Thank you. So yeah,
queso really is cheese.
Exactly. Yeah, cheese quesadilla and a Crunchwrap Supreme. Do you guys have Taco Bell over in Ireland?
No, I have it up in the North of Ireland, but not down in the Republic just yet. It's banging though. I had it in Manchester.
I went out in Blanche, Paddy. I was only thinking about this earlier on. Actually, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so, but it is actually. It's fucking banging.
It's beautiful.
Not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? It's too exotic for me, gents. I'm too much of a pussy for stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen this, Paddy, and I don't know if you've seen this, Chris, and I don't know if the chat heard, but apparently Liverpool are going to be off to Asia for the preseason tour. A couple of Premier League games or Premier League friendlies lined up. Manchester United in Bangkok is it's close to being signed off this, according to reports today. Crystal Palace, I think, are another side that were being signed off to play. But the good news is we'll still have a little break in Evian or somewhere in Europe as well. But for a shortened pre-season, Chris, or a shortened break between seasons, I don't know how I feel about this.
It sort of feels like the rung on the ladder towards games, Premier League games and Champions League games being played away from the home fans, which is not something we want to see. It's great to see in terms of marketing. For these clubs, it's the best thing you can do. You're literally taking the experience to their country, the country which is probably bringing in you a lot more money than the country here. But it's just a bit of a shame, really. Look, I don't want to deny anyone the chance to watch Liverpool Football Club. I think it's something. It's an absolute luxury that I get to do a lot more than a lot of people, and I really, really love it and appreciate it. But at the same time, it shouldn't be taken away from where it belongs. And that belongs in Liverpool Football Club belongs in Liverpool, if you understand.
I think if I'm right, Paddy, an August 6th or 8th start to the season because of the Winter World Cup as well coming up. So we're going to have a bit of a mad season.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's going to be. I hate all this shit. Winter World Cup. I mean, I think anyone who knows the Qatar World Cup in general is a disgrace. But listen, it is what it is. The more football, the merrier, though. Shame there's no Ireland at the World Cup. So I'm happy enough with the preseason stuff. I kind of like the way they've done it the last few years with the kind of German-based teams and those sort of camps in Austria and stuff. Because I just feel if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm very superstitious like that. But again, it's all about the dollar as well, and it is great marketing, and it's great for the fans from really far away. Like obviously, I'm a foreign fan, but I'm only half an hour on a plane, whereas there's people who have to travel a fucking full day. So I'm glad to be able to get to see their heroes. But yeah, I'd prefer to do the usual one we do, but I wouldn't say no to a few more quid.
Yeah, look, I'm always sound with the Asia then onto Australia pre-season tours, but in a full summer, not in a summer that's probably going to be shortened because of this Winter World Cup that was held as a Summer World Cup. But anyway,
what's going on with this Club World Cup? Because aren't they going to change the format of it? Sorry, I
mean, there's been a few ideas floated about this, and in all honesty, I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew what the exact format was going to be moving forward. I know you're asking about this, Chris, because we're nailed on to be in it after we win the Champions League. Well done. But
okay, so I've just Googled it. The Club World Cup is okay. This is what it was meant to be. Was in 2021, but now it is going to be in 2023. Apparently, it's going to be 24 teams, which is going to include the finalists and runners-up of the last 8 Champions Leagues, plus all the other best teams from the coefficients. So that's another tournament that we're going to be in.
That sounds too much. I'll be honest, man. That sounds way too much. I mean, well, I'm all for this 2-game malarkey that's going on now. Chelsea just won it, obviously, and I think that just sounds like another excuse to make money, Paddy. To me, that's all. It's a money grab.
I don't know. Again, with this revamping nonsense, just keep what it is. The way it is now is fine. It's a little tiny break that players can go and do, and then come back. Yeah, this sounds like a fucking like a too long of a delay, and we'll just scupper the other campaigns going on. So
Apparently it would happen
the way it is now is perfect.
once every 4 years. And yeah, they do that. But then you add in international football. Where's the break for these players? There's nothing. There's literally no break. And they want to put in a biennial World Cup as well as this. Like, what?
I know, it's ridiculous. To get back actually for a second, we didn't really talk about this, but the comments from Jurgen Klopp about James Milner, and then I suppose the guesswork that a lot of us fans are doing about trying to figure out, was Klopp talking about Milner being still with us next season? Was he talking about Milner continuing on to play football next season? Because what I can gauge, there has been there's been no breakthrough or no agreement for Milner to stay on next season. But I agree, Chris, that I think he will keep playing football. But this is going to sound really shitty, but I don't want that to be at Liverpool past this season. Not if he's going to be on a similar wage.
The only way I wanted to stay at Liverpool, right? And this sounds really ungrateful because I love James freaking Milner. He's a legend of this football club, in my opinion. But I want him to be, you know how like Paul McShane went to Man United and played with their under-23s? I sort of want that so he could like play like half coaching, half going to a level where he can impact these players by being in the dressing room, showcasing his professionalism. I know that's a very selfish way to look at things, but James Milner, as we've mentioned, is not good enough to play 90 minutes for Liverpool anymore. He's probably not good enough to play 45 minutes for Liverpool anymore. He's very good in situations like the other day where you can bring him on for 10 minutes, helps shore it up, get an experienced head on the field, but to give him a new deal, it just seems a little bit, I don't know, it's bittersweet.
Like, Paddy, here we are. Like, we know that FSG don't like giving out contracts to people past 30, extended contracts. Where I am with this is, if we have a 37-year-old James Milner, I think he turns 37 next January, if my memory's right. So if he turns 37, 140, 150 grand, it just doesn't add up, mate. It doesn't add up to me when Mane's on 100 grand a week, when Creevin Kelleher's on 6 grand a week, Curtis Jones is on 7.5 or something like that. I mean, it's just not a reflection of what he would give to the squad if he was to be kept on the same money.
Yeah, well, I mean, I heard the same stuff, but I feel like it'll be on a heavily reduced wage. It's probably be a case of if you want to stay here, you can, but we're not obviously going to be able to give you this. He's an experienced head to have around. He's a good head to have in the change room. He's a valuable asset in that sense. But yeah, it'll need to be a severely reduced wage, and I'd imagine it'll turn him into a bit of a player/coach sort of vibe,
And I'm all for that, by the way. I mean, James Milner has so much to give back to the game of football. I mean, again, these are horrible conversations, lads, aren't they, to have, whether we talk about Hendo or Milner or one of the front three maybe moving on. They're not conversations that any of us sat out wanting to have. But then again, I genuinely didn't think we were going to be in a situation to talk about Milner maybe getting a new deal. I think even the Athletic article that was put out about it seemed to suggest that I think we all thought he was moving on.
I think it come out about 2 or 3 months ago that he was definitely going to leave. Like, I'm pretty sure James Pearce said that, or he was rumored that he wanted to leave and still continue to play football. I don't know. I don't think it, as Boots and Gloves TV says, I don't think it does any harm him staying. It's just more where else that money could be used. It would, and as you say, it would have to be a severely reduced wage to like 40, 50k a week in order for it to be really financially viable, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see what happens. I'm sure Klopp and the lads will make the right decision one way or the other. Paddy, a bit of news breaking around Fabio Carvalho, Kevin Palmer, the Sunday World, saying that he believes the framework for a deal could be close to being in place. A possibility of this deal could be him going back to Fulham for another season. Nothing confirmed on that, but it looks like we are edging closer to an agreement between Liverpool and Fulham for Fabio Carvalho.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm not. I don't like the idea of loaning him back for another season. I think if we get him, we take him now and get him in amongst it. I feel like he's the heir to the Firmino throne. But yeah, no, I'm sure it'll just be a matter of formality in the summer and once it gets done. But for me, I don't want to see him loan back for another full season.
I mean, it's got to be said, Chris, neither club probably want to roll the dice on a tribunal because you don't know what it might entail. And certainly from Fulham's point of view, I would imagine they'd be trying to push him in the direction of an English club because they get a lot more money.
Yeah. And let's not forget that Liverpool have clearly given them a gesture of good faith in Nico Williams. And he's gone there and he got 2 assists, I believe, in his first 3 games at the club. And they've got Harry Wilson, which they're not paying for until this summer. With the 12, because to escape financial fair play, they would have to pay for him a delayed deal. So we've done them favors, and I'm sure the club would not be very happy if Fabio Carvalho's deal was not smooth riding. So hopefully, look, I think it'll get done, and I think we'll have him this year. I genuinely think so. I think we'll have him for next season, and we'll be all right. We'll have a good option there.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of loaning him back to Fulham, I guess, Paddy, is maybe Fulham pushing their luck to see how far they can maybe get Liverpool to bend on this.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe they're just trying it on. Like, I don't blame them for doing it. I just don't see how the club will agree to another year's loan. I feel like if they want him so badly, they want him in. They want him now. But again, once he's officially a Liverpool player, I suppose if he's not going to be playing week in, week out, a year back at Fulham is fine. Especially if it's in the Premier League, maybe I wouldn't be madly against it. He gets a full year of starting in the Premier League, So I wouldn't be madly against it if it meant if Klopp thinks he's good for the here and now, then there'd be no chance of them going back or him going back.
Right, folks. Here's what's going to happen for the last 20 minutes or so of the stream. We're going to come to you guys in the chat. So any topics that you want us to talk about or any questions that you have for us, get them ready in the chat. I'm going to be bringing them up and we'll address them as and when we can. But also, bit of news from Anfield Agenda. On Wednesday night, we are going to be doing the Inter Milan game on Twitch. It is a huge roll of the dice from myself, from Connor, from all the team here at Anfield Agenda. And we need your support. So if you can please come over to Twitch for that watch along on Wednesday. We will be in a build-up show on YouTube as always, breaking the team news, all that stuff. But if this goes well for us, it could be really, really helpful moving forward. So if you can come across, even if you're not somebody that thinks they're going to enjoy Twitch, we've got lots of fun and games ready. We've got loads of entertainment coming up on Twitch. And we just want to give it a chance. So do you know what? I didn't even tell the lads this yet. I haven't even told Paddy and Chris this yet. But we're going to roll it.
Oh, right. Great.
Yeah, we're gonna roll the dice, Paddy, and give it a bash on Twitch on Wednesday and see how we get on.
Happy days, as you should. Prove the worth. And now I can confirm that I won't be doing a watch along that night. I'll be happily watching the Craig.
Paddy Murphy's made a convenient switch to YouTube that night.
Yeah, my YouTube account's ready to go.
No, for us, we're talking with Twitch at the minute about next season, and we need some data to back up our claims from our side. As you're looking to get as good a deal as possible. So for us, we're in talks with Twitch about next season and potentially bringing all of our live content over there. So we'll wait and see. But if you can show us your support, tomorrow we'll be doing PSG versus Real as well. What a tasty tie that is, gents! I can't wait for that one.
Mbappe, former club against his future club or current, sorry. So it's going to be really interesting. I don't know who to call. Real Madrid are going about their business quietly enough, but PSG are PSG, and Ramos against PSG as well. Wow. Or sorry, Real. Mental.
Yeah, there's a lot of side notes or what's the fucking
subplots?
Yeah, subplots. That's it, Paddy. Good man. Brain just completely switched off there. Right, so look, let's move it over to the chat and let's start with this one. Chris, Kieran Trippier, broken metatarsal. I mean, just as Newcastle get into a little bit of form there, their free kick goal scoring superstar who's banged in 2 free kicks and 2 is he's out for a bit with the Wayne Rooney injury. Yeah,
it's a real shame for Newcastle because I think everyone's a little bit skeptical. We all know Kieran Trippier's quality, but for the money they paid, it just seemed a little bit crazy. But he come in and had a magnificent impact, and it shows how important fullbacks are nowadays. He's come back and changed that entire team. And he provides that option, and an option they didn't have. I do think though that those wins that he's helped them get will keep them up and will keep them safe. I think he came in at the right time, and I think he'll be out for a couple of months, so he'll be back for the end of the season. Look, I think they'll be absolutely fine without him, but he will still be a big miss.
Here's one for you, Paddy. Well, I'm throwing it at you. Do you think Firmino should leave this summer?
No, well, no. I would like to keep him. I would like to retain him. I feel like he still offers us something different. However, you know, I wouldn't like to see him go, but I wouldn't be if he wanted to leave to secure more game time. I wouldn't be opposed to letting him go. You get me? Especially if you're bringing in Fabio Carvalho, who could probably be his replacement. So I don't want him to leave or need him to leave, but you know, I wouldn't lose sleep if he did.
Here's one for yourself, Chris. Do you think Wolves can sneak into the top 4 this season? I mean, they're on a roll. They beat Spurs 2-0. And played very well, by the way, in that game. As bad as Hugo Lloris was, and he was fucking awful. He got a 3, by the way, in Sky's player ratings. A 3. I've never seen a 3 before.
Yeah. Wolves can get top 4. I don't think they will. I think it'd be quite reactionary to say that they will, but I think it's in Arsenal's hands, boys. The ball is in Arsenal's court here. And that shows the sort of strength of those sort of 5 teams going for it. That Arsenal are the leaders. I mean, it's probably going to be Arsenal or United, really. And United are bad. United are really bad.
If United
Wolves
get
win the 2 games in hand
this season, I'm going to go as far as to say, Paddy, it'll be the worst team to qualify for a Champions League in many a year. That's how poor I think this United team are. And by the way, did you see Gary Neville's little 6.5 minute? I don't want to call it rant, but it was a very good rant on Sky Sports about the situation at United and stuff getting leaked to the media and stuff as well as players go into self-preservation mode.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he speaks, you know, as much as we give Gary Neville, he's a great pundit, like, and he speaks from the heart when it comes to United. And yeah, no, it's disgraceful that sort of goings on. But on the Wolves thing, if they win their 2 games in hand they have over West Ham, they go 2 points clear of them. So, you know, it's mathematically feasible, but I'd imagine they'll drop off a little bit. And yeah, I do not see no chance United get it. I reckon it's going to be a North London battle between Spurs and Arsenal, and I'm edging it towards Conte's Spurs.
Oh, Conte seems to be losing his mind at the minute, lads, doesn't he?
I think he's gone. I think he's gone in the game.
What's going on? Like, how the fuck do they lose 2 games in a week? I mean, they've somehow gone from position where they were, I think, 7th with games in hand to 8th after playing the games in hand. I mean,
I think he's gone in the summer. This squad is not good enough. They're really, really bad, Tottenham. And if you think about it, they were losing until the last second against Leicester. They could be looking at 5 consecutive defeats in the league. They really, really could be. If they lost that game against Leicester, they've lost their 3 since, and they've got Man City next. They are in the mud, boys. They are not.
To be fair, though,
League. No way.
They do have 3 games in hand still on West Ham, and if they win all them, what are they? 39.
Can you see them winning
5.
it? Can you see them winning?
I think Arsenal are in the box seat, judging off the games in hand and stuff.
I'm just gagging for a Man City loss soon, just to show that they're not infallible. Please.
They have some on paper difficult enough games coming up, whereas we've a decent run coming up. I can see Chris, like a good lad there, Googling immediately to get the fixtures. I know United's in there for them. I think
they've got
Spurs
Tottenham at home, Everton away, United at home, Palace away, Brighton home, Burnley away, and then us.
I mean,
wow, that's actually we're that soon. Ooh.
Yeah, it's in April. It's in April 9th.
We've got actually the day before I go on holidays, the last game we're going to be doing, and my holiday mood is going to be dictated by this is United. We're playing United the day before I take my break to go on holidays, so I swear to God,
be fine.
we're going to beat them at Anfield.
Oh, we will. But that's funny though. That subplot of City playing Villa at the last game of the season. Can you imagine Villa beat them? Coutinho last minute winner. The scenes, and that wins us the league. Here, I have a dream.
Last minute winner, like 13-14.
This I was physically, and I'm not joking, physically behind my sofa for that game. That third when that dropped to Coutinho, and I think was it a poor clearance from Company?
Yeah,
which is so ironic because he was such a rock for Villa, for City.
Yeah. He was quite, that
What a
game was
moment!
so
I never
crazy.
celebrate a moment more.
We went 2-0 up, didn't we?
Paddy, I
Very,
was
very
convinced
early.
we were winning it. Convinced.
We
So was
went
I.
2-0 up, didn't we? We went 2-0 up so early. Sterling scored that goal where he sent Hart sent him spinning really, and then Skirtle scored. I mean that Skirtle season was mental, wasn't it? He just seemed to score every week. Fantasy football dream.
James Milner, if my memory's right as well, played a massive part coming off the bench for City in that game against us in their comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He assisted it too, I think, did he?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Chris, somebody here wants to know. Mark wants to know, do you know who Rick Astley is? I mean, surely to Jesus.
Do you mean Rick Astley? Do you mean like the never gonna give you up guy?
Never gonna let you down. That one.
Yeah, the guy, the Rick roll. Yeah, I know some things.
Signed to Stock Aitken and Waterman back in the day, the Hit Factory, as they were called.
I'm pretty sure he's my mum's age. Don't know why I know that, but yeah.
Everybody knows Rick Astley. I mean, God Almighty. Even my son knows the words to that song, and he's 10. Never been. There was another question here I wanted to ask you, Paddy, actually. And look, we can't answer this one with Jude Bellingham. So let me just put that. Yeah, I think you can guess what the question is. Where the fuck has it gone? Somebody asked, and apologies that I can't find it. Realistic signing that you'd like. Oh, there we go.
And it can't be Jude Bellingham.
What do you want Liverpool to sign most realistically from Harry? Well, I'm saying it can't be Bellingham because that'll probably be all of our answers.
Rafinha? Bowen? One of the boys?
I love that you're getting on board this Bowen bus, by the way. I'm fully on for this.
Listen, at first, I think if his name was Bowen Dino, we'd all be on it from day one, to be fair. But he's a solid player, you know what I mean? And he does the job. The stats are there. So, yeah, I'm for it.
Yes, let's go. The food's been ordered, boys.
Great success.
Come on.
I was expecting Paddy to go. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. But no, it was there for you, mate. It was there for you.
Crikey.
I'm Bowen, Chris. We've been plugging the Bowen buzz for a while now, and he keeps scoring. He just keeps on scoring.
People, right? Do you guys know the account Sean Dio LFC on Twitter? He is insistent that Jarrod Bowen is an average footballer. It's like, do you actually watch football, or do you just tell by the sort of the tropicalness of the name? I know Jarrod Bowen is not a Portuguese kind of vibe, but he's Herefordian and he keeps scoring goals. Sign him up, Reds. Come on.
I mean, let's have a gander at our guess at price, because this is something I've been going back and forth with my own mind, because I'm damn sure, Paddy and Chris, that West Ham will want a pretty penny if they are to lose Mr. Bowen, because he just keeps getting better. It seems week in, week out now he's improving, and I can only imagine the improvements that could be made as well, working on the Klopp, Linders, Kravitz, and the Liverpool staff.
He run his I think it depends on whether he gets a new deal or not, mate. To be honest, his deal runs out in 2025. So he'll have 3 years. Actually, no, it doesn't at all, does it? I'm an absolute waffler. He signed a 6-year deal when he signed. So
June 30th, 2025.
And that's and apparently they are looking to give him a new deal because he is like ridiculously in form and he's earning far more than his keep. So 60 million. I think that's
no way.
And it's steep.
45 million pounds.
But what if? But he is West Ham's star man, probably bar Rice. I say maybe if they keep Rice, they would sell Bowen. But if they get they could still get Champions League football. They're definitely not letting Bowen go. No way.
His transfer value is 35 million euro according to the transfer market.
Yeah, 60 is a lot. Like Rafinha, I would imagine would probably get a bit less than that if we were to still be in for him. And I am interested to see, because I think it would give us a clue as to what Klopp's thinking going forward with regards to who's moving on and which player we might look at. Let me see if there's another couple of questions here.
Jarrod Bowen is not Stuart Down in Mark II just because he's English. Come on, boys. Come on, we can be with our analysis.
Well, here's an easy question. Do you think we'll win a trophy this season? Not one. I think at least two. I'm definitely on for at least a double.
Yeah, Champions
Yeah,
League.
I agree. At
Champions
least
League
two,
Cup.
but I reckon a treble is very doable, and a quad is an outside chance. I don't know
Yeah,
what gives me the confidence, but you never know. Fuck it, gotta believe in it.
you've got to believe, and we're getting to that point of the season now where it's put up or shut up time. Massive game coming up, and don't be expecting any penalties, by the way, in the League Cup final. Stuart Atwell is the referee for the game, and I can't remember who's on VAR off the top of my head.
We'll have a look.
I reckon
Let's
it's
have a look.
going to penalty, so we'll get some nonetheless.
Stuart Atwell, Andy Madley's the fourth official. I'm just having a look for the EFL, the VAR, if there is one. I hope there is. There better be. Darren England is the VAR.
Yeah, I have a feeling that didn't he fuck us out of a penalty? Was he the one that didn't give us a penalty yesterday? Actually, was he on VAR yesterday?
But look, as long as what's his name, David Coote, Martin Atkinson,
Yeah.
and what's his name? What's his name? What's the other guy's name?
James.
Who's awful. I can't even remember his name. Paul Tierney, that's it. Paul Tierney, as long as he's not involved.
Yeah, I hate him.
Yeah, look, unless it's Michael Oliver refereeing, I'm never happy, if I'm honest with you.
Talking of that, I think I saw in the Athletic today that they're going to do like a purge on referees.
Can I lead the fucking purge?
We're going to put like a load of money into it and completely change the lineup of it or something. And they might try and recruit foreign ones as well.
That I've always been for, Paddy. I love the idea of a floating group of referees amongst Europe's top leagues that don't have any inbuilt biases towards clubs or locations. Yeah. And then we get a more streamlined Champions League and Europa League as well, because referees are used and players are used to different types of referees with different styles. So I'd love that. A proper elite group of rotating referees amongst the top 5-6 leagues.
I agree exactly, because no matter what, if you're growing up in England and you're a referee, you have a football team as a child, and therefore there is inherent bias in you. Whether you can say, "Oh no, I'll be unbiased," sometimes human nature will predict you're not going to be. So yeah, I would be all for an elite group of foreign refs, like a World Cup roster style. I'd be all for that for sure.
What about yourself, Chris? As somebody with experience in this field. Oh, and I want to ask you as well, Chris, about the potential of referees at grassroots level being cameraed up now with body cams. They're talking about trying to implement that, although the funding would have to be massive.
What they should do is fund them with comms kits instead. So at my level, where like Parks level, you don't like have any assistant referees or anything. But the highest level I get is the Ardell leagues. And for that, you could get like a communications kit with your assistants. They make the game so much easier for you to referee, especially at that level, because they can't complain whether you know whether it's in or outside the box, whether it's in or out of play. It's mental. But yeah, no, there's no way that happens. And in terms of an elite group of referees, I'd be really, really interested to see it. Jared Gillett moved from Australia to the Championship, didn't he? And he seems to be doing okay. If we continue, if we look for the best, I don't know. There's some European referees who I think are just as mental as our ones. So it's all about clarifying the laws of the game first before we actually go into why the referees are poor, and they are poor because they're not consistent at all.
Yeah, I'd just like to see them just breed Pierluigi Collina in a lab somewhere. Just make 50, 60 of him and put them out there. Right, a couple more questions. Let's go with this one for you, Paddy. Would you take Tchouaméni?
I would, yeah, but not at the expense of Bellingham. But I would take him for sure. He's a great footballer, great prospect, but not at the expense of Jude.
Chris, for you, a quick fire one here. If Mane was to go, how much would he go for? Bearing in mind he'd only have a year left.
45 million. That'll be my choice.
Yeah, it's so tough to gauge, Paddy, on this one, because Hazard has just skewed my vision of all of this when Real Madrid overpaid when they paid €100 million for a 1 year left on his contract, Eden Hazard. Huh?
Pre-COVID.
Well, His transfer value is 80 million euro right now, according to Transfer Market. So I feel like 50 would be a good price one. I'd be looking for. I'd be starting the bidding at 80 and let people go from there. There will be people paying that money. 60 million easily, I think you would get for Sadio Mane because he's so world class. Because if clubs want him, they have to pay the money. Otherwise, they could lose him to a rival, etc.
But the
We're
thing
looking
is,
at you, PSG. We're looking
the
at you
thing
for
is,
that
though,
60 mil.
I think PSG are the only club stupid enough to pay 60 million for him. Like, I love Sadio Mane, but any club with a long-term plan is not going to look at him to be the spearhead of their future because he's 30 years old and he's declining. Like we have to admit that he's incredible, but he's not the player he was, and he's not going to spearhead anything at 30 years old. And 60 million is a lot of money.
Right, last one, gents. Before we finish up, then, would you rather Rafinha for 50, Bowen for 60, or Saka for 70?
Rafinha for 50.
Bowen,
The best player for the cheapest price. Thank you.
I'm Bowen as well because at that type of money, I don't care about the differential in it. I just think Bowen would be unbelievable on the clock. But look, I'm not turning my nose up at Rafinha either. Don't get me wrong. I just think we'd have to move players around for Rafinha to really get a proper run. You know, Salah have to move through the centre or something would have to change in our system. And I just think Bowen is that utility man that could play right across the front three.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he's
fair.
he's got a future as striker as well. He really does.
We all agree, by the way, that Saka at 70 can fuck right off.
Overrated, madly overrated, but that's a debate for another day.
Look, he's a good young talent, but he's nowhere near £70 million footballer at this moment in time, even taking into account the potential. Do we still, actually, one more quick one from me, gents. Do we think that there's any chance Raheem Sterling leaves City now this summer with the little vein of form that he's after finding himself in?
I don't think he'll go, and I think they'll bring in a striker this summer, which will really benefit Sterling. You know when he first went to City and he really made a good partnership with Aguero. He darted where he didn't dart in the box. I think he would benefit hugely with having a striker next to him to feed off. And whoever that is, maybe it might be Erling Haaland, which would be quite frightening. So yeah, I think he stays.
What about yourself, Paddy?
Yeah, I'd say he stays, mainly because I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to pay money for him because I think he's an absolutely terrible footballer. System player FC. He's shite. He's wank.
He can't finish for shit, but
he doesn't impress me at all. He's explosive, but nah.
Come on.
I wouldn't take him back at Liverpool for free.
I was heartbroken when he left. I won't lie. I was expecting this lad to turn into an icon at Liverpool.
This is a man who scored 126 goals for Manchester City. Like he is. He's scored double figures in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons. One of those is 20, one of those is 18, one of those is 17. Yes, he might benefit from City's system, but I'll tell you what, I don't know if he benefit, and he's a hell of a player. He really is. Right,
last one on this, gents. We're going to be live for the watch along on Wednesday for the Inter Milan game, yes. But I will be on Twitch tomorrow for PSG Real. But just a reminder, please do come across, show us some love, and it will really help us with Twitch if you guys can come across on Wednesday for the watch along, for the post-match content. Actually, I don't know on the post-match content what Connor has planned for that, but the watch along 100% will be on Twitch, and I'll be over there tomorrow as well. The link for our Twitch is in the description. Look, I want to say a massive thank you to our sponsors, Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping store-wide with our discount code WFM20. Want to thank Mr. Paddy Murphy for being an absolute hero, coming on with COVID and managing to stay the course, because I'd have fell on the floor, mate. Well done.
Listen, we can't let down the team, and it's great. It's a pleasure to be able to talk football rather than lying on my bed dying.
And Mr. Chris Stonadge, go get that Taco Bell into you, sir, and we're all waiting for you to take Izzy up Anfield.
Yeah. I'm sure you will. Maybe she might feature in my match reaction on Saturday. Who knows?
You never know. Look, folks, we will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Jeff.